Hi everyone, and welcome back to Meaningful Living. It's great to have you with us. Here at our channel, we are all about exploring ways to live our healthiest and happiest lives, especially as we navigate our wonderful years after 50. Tonight, we are diving into a topic many of us might think about as the evening unfolds: enjoying a drink. Whether you're already relaxing with a glass or considering one with dinner, it's a common part of life for many. Maybe it's a comforting ritual after a long day, a way to unwind, or simply something you've always enjoyed in moderation. But have you ever wondered if some of our go-to alcoholic beverages might be a little less friendly to our bodies as we age? It's a conversation worth having. What if that drink meant to help you relax is actually putting extra strain on your liver, affecting your brain health, or impacting your heart? The interesting thing is, not all alcoholic drinks are created equal. Some might pose more challenges to our well-being over time, while others, enjoyed in moderation, might even have some surprising benefits. This isn't about scare tactics. It's about empowering ourselves with knowledge and making informed choices for our health journey. The world of alcoholic beverages is vast, often associated with enjoyment, social gatherings, and tradition. But it's also wise to understand the potential downsides, especially as our bodies change with age. Our liver might process things a bit slower, our kidneys might be a little less robust, and our brains can become more sensitive. So, what we choose to drink can really make a difference. Statistics from organizations here in the US suggest that a significant portion of adults over 65 regularly consume alcoholic beverages. And the truth is, some of these choices might not be the most supportive for our age group. What's even more important to consider is that many people might not realize the subtle ways certain drinks can impact their long-term health. Now, here's the good news. It's not all doom and gloom. Science is revealing that some alcoholic beverages might be less harmful, and some even have potential upsides. We are talking about drinks with antioxidants that can support heart health, the kind of beverages that are part of traditions in places known for longevity. With the right selection and mindful moderation, they might even fit into a healthy lifestyle. The tricky part is that the less friendly and the friendlier options often sit side by side on store shelves. The key lies in understanding the nuances, how they are made, what they contain, their strength, and how we consume them. Making informed choices can truly help us continue enjoying our evenings in a way that supports our well-being. So, tonight, we are going to gently explore some truths that might not always be front and center. We'll look at 4 types of alcohol that can be particularly challenging as we age, and then we'll shine a light on 4 potential alternatives that, when enjoyed responsibly, might even offer some health perks. Let's get started on this journey of understanding together. 4 types of alcohol that can be less friendly as we age. Less friendly choice number 1. Strong spirits, giving your liver a workout. Whiskey, vodka, cognac, rum. For many, a shot of whiskey or glass of rum can evoke feelings of comfort and tradition. That after-dinner drink, a little something to warm you up, or a nip to calm the nerves. Millions over 60 might partake in this daily. These stronger spirits can account for a significant portion of alcohol consumption. But what's happening inside our bodies? Let's look at the science. The first point to consider is concentration. A single shot contains roughly the same amount of alcohol as a larger beer or glass of wine, but in a much more concentrated form. For a mature liver, this can be quite a load. Imagine your liver as a filter. Strong alcohol floods that filter with substances it has to process rather slowly. Dr. Stephen Johnson from the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, NIAA, notes that the liver of someone in their 70s works about 40% slower than that of someone in their 30s. Strong alcohol can overwhelm it and lead to potential long-term issues, such as fatty liver disease and even cirrhosis. It's important to understand that if you stop or significantly reduce alcohol intake, the liver has an amazing capacity to recover, but constant strain can lead to irreversible changes. Women tend to process alcohol more slowly, so the impact can be even more pronounced. But it's not just the liver. Strong alcohol can also subtly affect our brain health. It can cross the blood-brain barrier and impact neurons. While more research is always ongoing, It's wise to be mindful of how high concentrations of alcohol can affect memory and cognitive function as we age. High concentrations of alcohol can affect the hippocampus, the part of the brain involved in forming new memories. Older adults who regularly consume strong spirits often develop alcoholic dementia, which can be hard to distinguish from Alzheimer's disease. They might start forgetting names, getting lost on familiar streets, and eventually failing to recognize loved ones. It's like a slow but steady erasure of important parts of your personal history. Furthermore, alcohol disrupts the delicate balance of neurotransmitters in the brain, the chemicals that regulate mood, sleep, and thinking. This is why you might feel more anxious or depressed after drinking, even if it initially felt relaxing. It can worsen existing issues with depression or anxiety, creating a vicious cycle that's hard to break. A long-term American study revealed a worrying pattern. Older adults over 60 who consumed more than 40 grams of pure alcohol daily in the form of strong spirits had a 67% higher risk of developing dementia. This is equivalent to about 2 small shots of whiskey, an amount many consider completely harmless, unaware of the long-term consequences for brain health. Our cardiovascular system can also feel the impact. Strong alcohol might contribute to irregular heart rhythms, such as holiday heart syndrome, and can significantly elevate blood pressure. For those already managing heart conditions or high blood pressure, moderation is crucial, as excessive consumption can increase the risk of heart attacks and strokes. Dr. Sarah Mitchell from Mayo Clinic reminds us that interactions with medications are also a significant concern as we age. Many common medications, such as heart drugs, antidepressants, pain relievers, diabetes medications, sleeping pills, antihistamines, and blood thinners, can have complex and sometimes risky interactions with alcohol, amplifying side effects or reducing drug effectiveness, and in some cases, creating dangerous toxic compounds in the body. Dehydration is another factor. Alcohol can lead to fluid loss, and older adults naturally have less fluid in their bodies. What might be a mild hangover for a younger person could lead to severe electrolyte imbalances and even kidney failure for an older adult. Electrolyte imbalances, for example, a drop in potassium levels, are critical for heart and nervous system function. Sleep quality can also be affected. Despite the initial drowsiness, alcohol can disrupt the deep, restorative stages of sleep, especially REM sleep, which is vital for brain recovery and memory consolidation. Older adults who drink strong spirits to relax often deprive themselves of proper rest, leading to persistent fatigue and reduced cognitive function. Finally, tolerance can gradually increase, meaning you might feel you need more over time to get the same effect. This is a subtle process, but the body is still processing that alcohol, and the damage accumulates. It's like a slow self-sabotage that many don't notice until it's too late. And let's not forget the risk of falls. Alcohol can affect balance and coordination, which is a significant concern for older adults, especially if their balance is already diminished. A study from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, showed that 23% of all serious fall-related injuries in people over 65 were linked to alcohol consumption. Less friendly choice number 2, creamy liqueurs, a double dose of sugar and alcohol. These sweet, creamy drinks can seem like a treat, almost dessert-like. They go down easily and are often perceived as less potent. However, behind that sweet facade lies a combination that can be less than ideal as we age: alcohol paired with a significant amount of sugar. A small glass of creamy liqueur often contains 15 to 20 grams of sugar, equivalent to about 4 to 5 teaspoons of pure sugar, along with a notable percentage of alcohol, often 15% to 20%. This combination can be quite a challenge for our metabolism. The sugar can cause rapid spikes in blood glucose, while the alcohol puts extra work on the liver. Dr. Anna Smith from the American Diabetes Association highlights that sweet alcoholic beverages can contribute to blood sugar issues and concerns about fatty liver disease. Studies have indicated a significantly higher likelihood of type 2 diabetes among those who regularly consume sweet liqueurs compared to those who prefer dry wines. The pancreas can also feel the strain of processing both sugar and alcohol. The impact on the liver is particularly concerning. While the liver tries to process the alcohol, It simultaneously has to deal with the sugar, leading to overload and the development of fatty liver disease. These sweet drinks are like a poison for an organ that already faces challenges with age. Alcohol dilates blood vessels and accelerates the absorption of sugar into the bloodstream, intensifying rapid blood glucose spikes, especially dangerous for diabetics. Creamy liqueurs also often contain saturated fats and artificial additives, which can impact cardiovascular health. One innocent-looking shot of Baileys can contain more saturated fat than a slice of rich cream cake, plus the alcohol. The calorie content of such a drink can be surprisingly high. A small glass of sweet liqueur can contain 200 to 300 calories, comparable to a small meal. Older adults with slower metabolisms often gain weight with regular liqueur consumption, and excess weight exacerbates other health problems. Another issue is the risk of dependence. The combination of alcohol, sugar, and often caffeine in coffee liqueurs simultaneously activates multiple pleasure centers in the brain, which can lead to strong dependence that's extremely difficult to overcome. Artificial flavorings and colorings in many liqueurs can cause allergic reactions and further burden the liver. What's advertised as a natural taste is often created in a chemical laboratory and has nothing to do with real fruits or spices. It's particularly insidious that many older adults don't perceive these drinks as real alcohol. They seem sweet and harmless, but the alcohol content is often higher than in wine. People tend to drink more of them, not realizing how much alcohol they're actually consuming. Less friendly choice number 3, lower quality spirits. Proceed with caution. When it comes to spirits, the saying "you get what you pay for" can sometimes hold true, especially concerning our health. Lower quality, budget-friendly spirits might contain more impurities and byproducts from the distillation process, such as fusel oils. These fermentation byproducts can be toxic, and in large amounts, they are capable of causing serious health issues, including liver damage, headaches, and even irreversible blindness if they contain methanol. Dr. John Doe from the New York Poison Control Center advises caution with spirits from unknown or questionable sources. For a mature liver that's already working a bit less efficiently, these extra substances can pose a greater challenge. While a younger person's body might cope with small amounts of such impurities, they can become deadly for older adults. Studies indicate that some inexpensive spirits might contain harmful contaminants, including heavy metals like lead and copper, which can leach into the drink from the use of low-quality or outdated distillation equipment. Regular consumption of such beverages can lead to the gradual accumulation of these metals in the body and serious poisoning. Homemade moonshine, produced without proper quality control, poses a particular danger. It can contain extremely high concentrations of toxic byproducts. What sometimes appears to be a traditional or natural homemade drink can, in fact, be a dangerous cocktail of poisons. Older adults' livers no longer possess the sufficient ability to efficiently eliminate these toxins. While their consumption might only cause a headache for younger individuals, for older adults, it can lead to liver necrosis and organ failure. This is comparable to the difference between a modern, highly efficient filter and an old, clogged sieve. Industrial, low-cost spirits are often produced using denatured alcohol, meaning alcohol initially intended for technical purposes. Despite subsequent purification, traces of toxic additives can remain in the final product. These solvents are not meant for human consumption. Another serious problem is the use of artificial additives designed to mask a poor taste. Flavorings, aggressive colorings, and cheap sweeteners create an additional burden on internal organs. In essence, it's a chemical cocktail disguised as a harmless drink. The production conditions for cheap spirits are often catastrophic. Unsanitary factory premises, contaminated pipelines, and improper storage can lead to bacterial contamination of products. For older adults with weakened immune systems, this can cause severe infectious diseases. It's particularly insidious that such drinks are often sold in stores primarily frequented by older people. Discount stores actively promote them as bargain deals, keeping silent about the potential health risks. People with limited retirement incomes purchase these economical drinks, unaware that they are risking their own lives. Less friendly choice number 4, alcohol mixed energy drinks and pre-mixed cocktails. A stimulating surprise for your system. Often marketed towards a younger crowd, alcohol-mixed energy drinks and heavily sweetened premixed cocktails are increasingly being chosen by people of all ages. The primary concern here is the combination of alcohol, which is a depressant, and stimulants like caffeine and taurine. This can create a confusing signal for your cardiovascular system. Dr. Emily Rodriguez from the American Heart Association notes that this combination can potentially lead to dangerous heart rhythm disturbances, such as arrhythmias, especially as we age. The heart simply doesn't know whether to speed up or slow down, which can lead to excessive strain. Research has shown that a significant number of participants who consumed alcoholic energy drinks developed dangerous arrhythmias, and some required emergency hospitalization. The stimulants can also mask the effects of alcohol, causing people to consume more than they realize. This leads to individuals drinking more alcohol than their bodies can handle, only realizing it when it's too late. For older adults taking medications, such a combination can be fatal. Caffeine and alcohol both have diuretic effects, but their combined consumption leads to severe dehydration. Older adults naturally have less fluid in their bodies, and this combination can cause dangerous electrolyte imbalances. For example, a drop in potassium levels, which is critical for heart and nervous system function. Blood becomes thicker, significantly increasing the risk of blood clots and associated strokes or heart attacks. Many of these premixes and energy drinks are also very high in sugar and artificial additives. A large glass of an alcoholic cocktail can contain up to 40 grams of sugar, equivalent to about 12 to 15 teaspoons of pure sugar, not counting the alcohol. For individuals with diabetes, such consumption can lead to diabetic coma, and for others, it can result in severe blood sugar spikes. Artificial flavorings and colorings used in these drinks can cause allergic reactions and further burden the liver. For instance, the yellow ditartrazine E102 can trigger asthma attacks, and sodium benzoate combined with vitamin C can form carcinogenic benzene compounds. The marketing strategies of some manufacturers targeting older audiences are particularly insidious. Some companies advertise alcoholic energy drinks as beverages that strengthen or invigorate older adults, creating a false impression of health benefits, when in reality, the opposite is true. The interaction of such drinks with medications is extremely dangerous. Heart medications, antihypertensive drugs, and antidepressants, when combined with alcoholic energy drinks and cocktails, can cause life-threatening reactions. What seems like a harmless, refreshing drink can actually turn into a real Russian roulette for one's life. Friendlier alcohol choices to consider after 50. Now for some good news. If you enjoy an occasional drink, there are some options that science suggests might be a little kinder to our bodies, especially when enjoyed in moderation and with awareness. These drinks are not health elixirs, but they can be a gentler choice compared to the ones we just discussed, and in some cases, might even offer minor positive effects. Friendlier choice number 1, quality red wine in moderation, antioxidant potential. Good quality red wine, especially those made through traditional methods and consumed in very small amounts, has been studied for its potential health benefits. The key seems to lie in the antioxidants, particularly resveratrol, found in the skin of grapes. Revolutionary research from the Harvard Medical School, conducted over 30 years, showed a surprising result. People who daily consumed a small glass of quality red wine had a 34% lower risk of developing cardiovascular diseases compared to complete abstainers. However, the protective effect was observed only with a maximum dosage, 125 milliliters per day for women and 250 milliliters for men. Dr. Eric Rim from the Harvard School of Public Health explains, the antioxidants in red wine can protect arteries and reduce inflammatory processes, but only in very small doses and only with quality wines without additives. Resveratrol activates so-called sirtuin enzymes, known as longevity genes, which can slow down cell aging and protect against neurodegenerative diseases. A French study also showed that moderate red wine drinkers had a 23% lower risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. The key factor is the quality of the drink. Organic wine, without sulfites and traditionally produced, contains more antioxidants and fewer harmful additives. Darker grape varieties like Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, or Pinot Noir tend to be richer in these beneficial compounds. Friendlier choice number 2, authentic traditional sake, a fermented tradition. Traditional sake, a Japanese rice wine, typically has a relatively lower alcohol content, around 15% to 16%, and fewer additives compared to some other beverages. Authentic sake is made only from rice, water, and koji, a special type of fungus. It also contains probiotic bacteria and B vitamins. Studies conducted in Japan show that moderate sake drinkers tend to live longer than abstainers. This is linked to the natural fermentation products, which have an anti-inflammatory effect. A small amount, around 80 milliliters, before a meal might even aid digestion for some. Friendlier choice number 3, unsweetened dry white wine from sustainable sources, a lighter option. Dry white wine, with minimal residual sugar and no unnecessary additives, can be a relatively lighter option for occasional enjoyment. It generally contains fewer histamines compared to red wine, which might be preferable for those with sensitivities. Choosing wines produced using organic or sustainable farming practices can also minimize exposure to unwanted chemicals. For example, American Rieslings or French Sauvignon Blanc from organic vineyards are good choices. An Austrian study showed that consuming a small glass of dry white wine, 100 milliliters, twice a week could reduce the risk of gallbladder inflammation. The natural acids in such wine also aid in mineral absorption. Friendlier choice number 4, traditional grappa or brandy in tiny amounts, a digestive for special occasions. Quality, traditionally produced spirits, such as authentic Italian grappa or French brandy, can be consumed in very small doses, for example, a tiny 20 milliliter serving, as a digestive after a meal. They tend to contain fewer toxic byproducts compared to their mass-produced counterparts and might stimulate digestion for some. The key here is very small and occasional. This is not for regular consumption, but rather for a very small sip on special occasions. One serving of authentic grappa per week might be acceptable, but daily consumption would be harmful. The importance of hydration. Regardless of your choice, hydration is crucial. Alcohol is a diuretic, meaning it promotes fluid loss from the body. For older adults, whose bodies naturally contain less water than younger individuals, this can lead to rapid dehydration, which can cause serious problems. Dehydration can affect kidney function, disrupt electrolyte balance, which is vital for heart and nervous system function, and even lead to confusion. Always drink at least 1 glass of water for every alcoholic beverage you consume. This will help maintain hydration and mitigate some negative effects. When to seek help. It's important to be honest with yourself about your alcohol consumption habits. If you notice that you need to drink more to achieve the same effect, if you find it hard to stop, if alcohol starts causing health problems, interfering with your relationships, or impacting your daily life, it might be time to seek help. Reaching out for help is not a sign of weakness, but a display of strength and self-care. In the US, there are many resources available, such as the National Institutes of Health, NIH, the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, NIAA, and the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, SAMHSA. Additionally, support groups like Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, or local health centers can offer support and resources. Practical strategies for mindful consumption. If you choose to consume alcohol, practice these golden rules. Always adhere to maximum dosages. Never exceed 125 milliliters of wine or 20 milliliters of spirits per day. For women, these dosages may be even lower. Quality over quantity. It's better to drink rarely but choose a quality beverage than to frequently consume cheap alcohol with unknown additives. Consult your doctor. Be sure to discuss alcohol consumption with your doctor, especially if you are taking any medications. Their interaction can be life-threatening. Alcohol-free days. At least 3 days a week should be completely alcohol-free to allow your body to recover. Drink slowly. Savor each sip and make your drink last longer. Eat before drinking. Never drink on an empty stomach. Food slows down alcohol absorption. Alternate with water. Drink a glass of water between each alcoholic beverage. Mindfulness. Be aware of how you feel. Do not use alcohol as a way to cope with boredom, stress, or loneliness. Instead, seek healthy alternatives such as new hobbies, socializing with friends, outdoor activities, or volunteering. So, as we wrap up tonight's episode, remember that when it comes to enjoying alcoholic beverages after 50, being informed and making thoughtful choices can truly support our overall well-being. It's about understanding how different types of alcohol can interact with our bodies as we age and exploring options that might be a little gentler. We'd love to hear from you. What are your experiences with alcoholic beverages as you've gotten older? What types do you find you enjoy? And are there any you tend to avoid? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Our Meaningful Living community is a great place to learn from each other. If you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with friends who might also benefit from this information. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more tips and insights on living your healthiest and warmest life after 50. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.